Wonder Woman number 21, written by Brian Azzarello, art by Cliff Chiang. So last issue, Wonder Woman was fighting and won against Artemis, and this issue picks up right where we left off of the Firstborn and Cassandra meeting up with Hera, Lennox, Zola, and the kid, who I think is named Zeke. I think that's it. So at this point, Firstborn is asking Cassandra, like, hey, this guy ripped out your voice, or the voice of God, her powers or whatever, to Cassandra, pointing to Lennox. And he's like, yeah, he's the one. He's a dick. He did it. And also his whole thing is that he's made of stone, which I'm not sure we ever got clarification that that was his whole thing. But apparently that's his whole thing, is that he is pretty solidly through and through made of stone. And Firstborn's like, I can break stone. So Hera steps up at that point and is like, hey, Firstborn, I'm your mom. I saved your life. Like, isn't that worth something? And he's like, yeah, some life I've had, Mom. Thanks for that. And just backhands her. And at this point, Zola starts running away. And Wonder Woman just jumps in and immediately starts fighting against Firstborn. And she gets a few good punches in, but then Cassandra gives chase to Zola and gives the whole breakdown of how her powers work, that basically she can just command people to do things and they do it. And it started when she was a kid and like she was super pissed off at an overbearing mother and she just said drop dead, and then she dropped dead. So that's how she found out she had powers. And she's attacking Zola and all that, and he's just like, wait a minute, hold on, Zola, I want to make sure you understand this here. I am not trying to take your baby to like corrupt it or turn it into something like me. No, that's not at all what's going on. I'm going to use your baby to end the world. That's all I'm here for. Like, just totally wipe the slate clean. So we see Lennox has joined the fight between Wonder Woman and Firstborn. He gets a pretty hefty smackdown immediately. Like, he's got a lot of cracks in his face now. And they manage to team up enough to put Firstborn down for like a second, but then he gets pissed off. He grabs the both of them and just throws them into the ground. And at that point, Orion shows up through his boom tube, and he tells his little bike, go after the baby, take care of that. I'm going to stay here and fight Firstborn. And he does a pretty good job. He's pretty much equally matched here with Firstborn. At least it appears so. And as they're fighting, we see that the bike has made its way to where Cassandra and Zola are. And Cassandra, when we last saw, was walking up towards the baby, and the baby's eyes started glowing. And as the bike gets there, Cassandra's out, and the baby's eyes are closed. So seemingly the baby just knocked out Cassandra, no problem. So Orion, he's fighting against Firstborn. Wonder Woman gets in, throws a punch. There's this whole thing here where she thinks that he's calling her baby, despite the fact that his actual misogynistic nickname is Legs. So that's a thing. But regardless, he's like, okay, is everybody here still alive at the very minimum? Because we got to get out of here. Like, I'm equally matched with that guy, or at least that's what I'll say, but we ain't taking him out. So let's all hop on my bike and get the hell out of here. So everyone hops on, meaning the whole gang, more or less. And they go through a boom tube, and the Firstborn, not wanting them to get away, grabs onto the entry hole of the boom tube and holds it open. And he's like, I am not letting you leave. Face me, you cowards. And Orion's like, okay, that ain't good. I have never met anyone who's been able to hold open the entrance of a boom tube. And apparently the way the boom tubes work is that you can only exit once the entrance has closed. And if he's holding it open, the power or whatever is rupturing and blah blah. It's bad news. And they're all gonna die. And Lennox, he just turns to the baby, says well, we had a good run. Don't forget your old half brother. And he jumps off into the boom tube, flying back towards Firstborn, throws a very strong punch, and seemingly dies in the resulting explosion. So the rest of them pop out, and they're in what seems to be this high-tech command center, and we see Orion kneels before Highfather on New Genesis. And Hera's like, where are we? And he's like, this is New Genesis. Here's my question. Who are you? Why are you here? And yeah, that's the issue. A couple things of note. something that started last issue, or maybe even the issue before, is there's this weird writing style going on where, like, someone will say something and then the other person will say something snarky as they're like throwing a punch or whatever. And then a few panels will pass, and then the first person like gets snarky with the snarky line. Like, it just consistently happens here where it's like the firstborn is like, "Oh, I know what you aren't." And then Wonder Woman says like, "Oh, this is who I am." And then they throw some more punches, and then firstborn is like, "Well, this is who I am." And it's like that happens 3 times in this issue, and it just has been happening, and it's kind of, once you recognize it, really annoying. But it's not bad writing. It's just kind of formulaic, I guess, is the issue I'm having with it. Secondarily, as an art piece here, Cliff Chiang, when they're going through the boom tube, they've got this weird, like, the 3D glasses, red-blue anaglyph thing going on. Looks fantastic. Really, like, totally different art style than I've ever seen. And it's reminiscent for me of Tom King's Mr. Miracle. And it's really striking, so I really do enjoy that. Beyond that, it's an okay issue. It's a fine. It's very short because it is just an extended fight scene. There's not really much to it. Overall, I gotta say it's like 7 sounds low, but 7.5 sounds too high. So I'm gonna go with a 7. And a lot of that is that it's just, I wanted there to be more, I guess. I understand that we're setting up Firstborn to be this bigger piece of a puzzle and we can't like solve this fight now, but it didn't feel like they were really on the back foot that much in this fight, especially once Orion showed up. Like, I felt they could have, if they all 3 of them fought together, could have handled it. So tiny little things like that bring it down to a 7, but overall, still a great issue.